Hello, everyone. I hope you are all having a fabulous day. Let's go ahead and jump into Let's Go Help 2. Okay, now my thing is looking different today. They keep changing how these toolbars look in Zoom, and it really throws me for a loop as I have to figure it out each time. All right, let's check that out there and get everybody muted. And Yvonne, it's not allowing me to mute you for some reason. Could you? Thank you so much. Hello, here we are, Let's Go Help 2, and we are first going to jump into our event, and Megan realized that our list is not really in the most appropriate order. We need to change some things around, so while I'm doing that, she's going to kind of walk you through why we're changing it.
Right. Oh, I'm trying to control your screen. That was weird. Okay, hold on. Let me go to my screen and do it. Hello. Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing?
Share so that you can show that instead of what I'm changing?
No, because I need to. I'll use you. I'm gonna follow your changing as a. Okay. I'll talk about what you're changing as you're changing it. No.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. Okay.
So we're gonna start changing it right around here, guys. Okay, go ahead.
Right. The SEO thing, right?
Well, no, the setting up of professional email, because you can do the SEO before you, right? But it's just about the fact that there's a reason why you don't want to do this before you do the other steps with the state and the IRS, right?
Correct. Yeah. Well, it's only to save money too. So like if you want to make sure you're doing it as frugally as possible, the best bet would be to make sure you do your Google Workspace. It is free. Well, it's low cost, free to low cost. Sometimes if you want the extra add-ons and stuff, there is a cost to it. It's like $5 a month or something like that. But to get they'll give you a professional email in your Google Workspace, and then that allows you to have Notebook LM and a whole bunch of other stuff, and your Google Ad Grants. It's all in one space. So you want to make sure that you're setting that up. You want to make sure that you're setting that up, and that way it will make sure you get your email and all that other stuff. But you can't really do that. You can't apply for that until you have your nonprofit completely done. So like you get your 501c3 back or whatever when you're going for, but your nonprofit status, according to the IRS, needs to be finished and complete prior to you applying for the Google Workspace. So that's why we have to put that after the whole process. So that way it's free. If that makes sense. Ooh, I see what you're doing here.
Right? I thought about it a little bit. Like, how can I move this all around without it being like horrible? Okay, so then
you did good.
This is here. So now step 6 needs to be something from this.
Okay. Yeah, because step 6 will also give you the Google Workspace also provides you a phone number. So it's really cool.
And that was the really big part, right? That
because it's expensive. I mean, not expensive. It's like $30 a month, but like, I mean, $30 a month on top of everything else is expensive. Yeah, right? It's more money than we would like to put out for it.
Yes, exactly.
And mind you, if you have more than one organization, that can be really expensive eventually. I say from experience. Okay, and
then now is when it gets a little bit more complicated. Okay, so I have to get rid of the one that I got. So that's the main point, is to just keep the ones that I need to still put back at the bottom, right? So these two,
yep,
those are the two that were out of order, right? And so let me grab, oh crud, okay. Okay, let's do this. Ready? This is going to be crazy for a minute, guys.
Hey, now.
Control C and Control C. Now, watch it just go flippity floppity back again. Okay. These two have been moved. So everything is correct for these two. Register, then get EIN. Okay. Now, we're going to take step 9.
Okay, and then I'm going to answer a couple of questions in the chat real fast. Okay. Where'd it go? Okay. Darren wants to know what constitutes a nonprofit. So give me 1 second. I'm pulling up. If you want to stop sharing, Sabrina, I can share the a slide. Thank you.
So I'm going to minimize you guys so I won't see what you're doing as well.
Okay. Yeah, that might be confusing. Okay. Share. Okay, so you guys can see my screen, right? Okay.
I don't
So
know.
yes, they can. I see that now. Darren, okay, so a nonprofit organization is organized and operated exclusively for religious, charitable, scientific, testing for public safety, literary, educational, or other specified purposes that meets a certain other requirements, and it meets other certain requirements. That is a tax exempt nonprofit underneath the IRS. The difference between the nonprofit organizations and a for-profit company is it lies in their purpose. So there is something called social enterprise, and those are all things that you can get into a little bit later. But the basis of nonprofit work is it's for the greater good. It's for a community. It's for not to make a buck. So you can make money as a nonprofit, but it needs to go right back into the nonprofit, not into your pockets. So that's the difference.
Like you can pay yourselves legitimate wages if you're handling things, but for instance, I can't make as much as I make at my paycheck job to handle the nonprofit. It would be too high of a wage, even if I was bringing that income in. Was that in context? Was that appropriate to say?
Yeah, but that's now changing too, because I know a lot of grant makers. Yeah, a lot of grant makers are making sure that everybody who works at nonprofits are making a livable wage, and that is exceedingly high these days.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
okay. Interesting. So, can you flesh that out for everybody, like the whole concept?
Yeah. So I just got denied for a grant for that because I didn't have our budget for salaries was actually really too low, and I thought it was too high. I submitted it with my fingers crossed and waiting for it to. I was afraid that they were going to say, "Oh, this doesn't even make sense as salary," but they did say that, but it was for the wrong reasons that I was not thinking of. So I was like, "Oh,
right,
okay." And I'm like, "So can I change it?" And she was like, "Yeah, just go ahead and resubmit it." And so they allowed me to change the budget and then resubmit. So that's why you submit early, guys. That's why we submit early. So we have opportunities like that, because if you submit at the very last minute, there are no opportunities like that.
Correct errors or change things they want you to change. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now, Megan, is if it's okay, I need to share my screen again and have you walk through this with me to make sure I didn't screw any of this up. Okay.
Okay, dropping it. Good.
And so let me get it set up over here. I just have to pull up 2 screens so that we can compare them side by side, right? And then we will know.
Aaron did that just like my business, but wait, put profit back in. I can't, it won't let me scroll. I can't let me, there we go.
Okay, now hold on, let me pull up Zoom and I'll share what I've got going on. Okay, here we go, guys. Okay, so one stayed the same, right? Let me get this out of the way too. You have item one, or caption, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and then it starts changing. So we want register your nonprofit after setting up your domain, right? Instead of setting up your professional email. Okay, and then you want it to be get your EIN. That's what we just completed the last time.
Did you? Okay, so you have the EIN. Why get your registration? Oh, okay, that's fine. Sorry.
Are we correct or not?
Yep, you're correct. My bad.
Okay, so we moved step 7 up. See, guys, this is step 7 on this old list. So we moved step 7 up before getting an email and getting a phone number. All right, so then over here, step 8 is step 6. So that looks right, right?
Yep.
Then step 9 moved to step 7, and so everything looks right there. And step 10 moved to step 8, and that looks right. And then step 5 became step 9,
right.
and step 6 became step 10. And then we have our final check. Okay, very good. Okay, so that's just been driving me crazy. Every time we talk about that in class, I'm like, I have got to get that corrected, but it's so hard for me to find time, guys. All right, so now we've got that done, and I can corrected in all the other locations so that it's proper throughout all of the community. All right, everyone? All right. So what we have going on now is I have already gotten my articles of incorporation. I had to pay $59 to the state. That's the total transaction fee to register with the state. So that's that piece of paper, right? And I have my entity number, a work order number for a domestic nonprofit corporation, articles of incorporation for a Collectively Rewilding Foundation were filed on 9/10/2025, but they said effective 9/5/2025. Why did they set it back 5 days, Megan?
So the date that we actually did it was what date?
The 10th.
And what date did you do that? What date did you do the Secretary of State? 10th?
This is when I filed with the state.
The Secretary. Yeah, I have no clue that my state does that. Right? My state will do that, go back and forth. I'm not sure if it's a quarterly thing. I'm not sure what they're trying to do with that, but they do it often, actually.
Okay.
My state does it too.
And then I have my filing with the Utah Department of Commerce that it's a domestic nonprofit corporation, and these are the articles of incorporation. And it's a little bit more official, right? Like, I don't know if any of this matters or not, but I'll just cover it up. And so you can see it's got like the seal of the state, and all that as their letterhead, okay? And then this is even further, a little bit more official kind of a seal and all that good stuff there, right? So I printed all this up. You want to keep all of this in your bookwork, right? It's very important to keep all of these documents.
I have like I think I have it right here. I have my bylaws. I have like a ringed binder of not 3-ring, but like I actually had it binded of all of that paperwork, as well as your bylaws and all of your 501c3, anything that comes from the IRS, state, that's official and giving you permission to do whatever. I don't care if it's a renewal. I put everything together because I want it all in one place. So that's one thing I've actually got organized in my life. That
it's a very important one to have organized. Yes. Right. And so it's got like the registered agent and required signatures, paperwork. And then this is the same thing. There's so much paperwork, you guys. Then I get into my EIN, right? So the Collectively Rewilding.
And that's not enough paperwork.
Oh my gosh. Don't even talk about that. Okay. So I don't want to talk about paperwork. Look at the paperwork in my life. Okay. I have a lot of paperwork.
I feel you.
So this is for my EIN, and this is a confirmation letter from the IRS to officially notice, and it contains important information, and that's all of your documentation, like if you own a 55,000 pound or greater motor vehicle, right? It says all of that type of information, and then it gives you like when you can use your EIN and some stuff like that. Pretty basic stuff for both nonprofit or for-profit entities there. And so that is the completion, guys, of we have now done together steps 1, 2. We didn't do them in perfect order. 2 came a little bit later. And should we change that in the list, or did we just want to do that because of time constraints with classes and things like that?
I believe it was because I don't know. I remember there was an issue with SEO not being relevant any longer, and then also the list.
It is still relevant, but not in the same ways. It's definitely shifted, and it may not be quite as relevant. So let's talk about that.
I think we ought to add something to that. I think we ought to add something to it because I just went through a class yesterday about how to rank in AI and make sure that when they're putting out lists, if you're asking AI for lists, and that's where we're going most days now instead of to Google, but it's not pulling from Google the same way it was pulling from the same way we would pull from Google, right? So there's a way to rank in AI so that you get put, like they pump you out your organization's name out in their listing of things. So that might be important to go over as well. I'm taking a media course.
I'm taking a gardening course.
Yeah.
Oh, and you guys, if you weren't with me yesterday during Country Living and Business Plus Pets, my SBDC mentor is in charge of a grant from the state for business entrepreneurs, if you take business training, I get half of the money I paid for my course back. So yay. Okay, so
That's
correct,
awesome.
right? Thank you. Correct SEO list item for current status. We'll just say that's easy. Okay. So there, it's on your list, my dear. So we've got that done. Okay, and so after we did 1, we actually went and did 3 and then 4 and then came back and did 2, I think is how we did it. But we've done 1 through 4 way earlier on, and then it took us a minute and we got registered. That's what we were just talking about. We registered with the state, the Articles of Incorporation, and then we got the EIN at our most recent class. And so now, since our list is corrected, we will move on to step 7, and that is registering with the IRS for 501c3 status. All right, and so here it is. Go ahead, Megan.
No, it's fine. I have my slides. Do we want to do slides that walk you through the whole website so that you can so that way you can do your private information and I can do the slides as you're going?
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, go for it, my dear. Thank you. Let me just actually pull up the website. Let's just pull it up from the
I wish we could do a split screen. That'd be fun.
I think you might be able to do that, but with me needing to like kind of keep some private, I think for this one it's better, but I do think we can do that. Yes. Okay, so here we are back on that lesson, guys, right? And it's not letting me move my toolbar. Weird. Okay, here it is. Register with the IRS for 501c3 status. Streamlined application for recognition of exemption, form 1023-EZ, right? And then we're going to click that. I think maybe somebody's unmuted there again. No, they muted themselves. Good. Okay. And so we begin. You see it has 5 steps. Okay. Doesn't look like it's going to be horrible in nature. And so we just want to start reading through this and preview the form. Let's preview the form. That's a good idea. Okay. So we can preview this form for you guys. Let's get this out of the way again. All right. So this is the application, right? You've got a name, address, EIN, phone numbers, addresses, your organizational structure, and the specific activities, right? Like I'll have to come in here for mine. It is educational. It's a little bit scientific, but not really. And so, yeah, educational is going to be my box, right? And you have to decide what fits for your boxes. And actually, Megan, when I'm filling that out, let's talk about that before I'm clicking on boxes, okay? And then you go through this qualifying for exemption. You must refrain from supporting or opposing candidates in political campaigns in any way. I already am trying to avoid that in my community anyway. That's not even difficult as a for-profit or a nonprofit. Ensure that your net earnings do not inure. Let's just look up what that word means and make sure we're on the good page there. Inure. I think it's like to obligate, but it's an old-fashioned word a little bit. They have become accustomed to, right? So they have been exposed to. These children have been inured to violence. They're jaded, right? Interesting. Law come into operation, take effect. Oof.
That's number 2 is the one that they're talking about.
Right. I do too, but I don't think I get it completely.
A release given to one to
a release given to one of 2 joint contractors inures to the benefit of both. Oh my. In legal terms, to inure means to take effect or to become a benefit, right, or obligation to a person or entity. So I'm taking on this responsibility, right? It describes how something such as a law, a contract provision, or a property right produces a specific effect or results in an advantage for a particular party. For example, a will's provision for a beneficiary might state that the property will inure to the beneficiary's benefit, meaning they have the right to receive it. Okay. Let's go to Gemini for this one, I'm thinking.
In layman's terms, please explain.
Huh. Whew, that's a bit rough, right?
Yeah. Drives me nuts.
All right, so we're currently filling out for 501c3 status for the Collectively Rewilding
I'm gonna go kill a cat real fast.
You're good. Foundation. And we have come to the portion of the 1023, right? We want to give all the information to Gemini DZ form that mentions, holy crap, right? What does it even mention? That's a complicated little thing there. Ensure that your net earnings do not inure in whole or in part to the benefit of private shareholders or individuals, so that they don't get it, basically, right? Okay, so let's just ask for a definition now, because that's still, or an explanation, I should say. Can you please explain this in layman's terms? I think that's how you spell layman. Oh, is there no layman? It's layman. Okay. Requirement that net earnings do not inure in whole or in part to the benefit of private shareholders or individuals, that is, board members, officers, key management employees, or other insiders, is the core concept of the non-inurement rule for 501c3 organizations. Here is the explanation in layman's terms. Layman's explanation of the no inurement rule. Essentially, the IRS is requiring you to confirm that no one is using the charity for personal profit. Okay, so that's kind of what I was trying to say, but I don't really understand it, so it's hard for me to put it into more easily understood terms, right? The rule means that the money, assets, and profits of the Collectively Rewilding Foundation must be used only for its charitable mission and cannot be used to enrich the people who run it. Jargon term, net earnings, layman's meaning, any money that organization has left over after paying its bills, profit, revenue, assets. So they can't become my assets, right? Inure, to benefit or to personally profit from, private shareholders or individuals, the people in charge, your board members, officers, executive director, or anyone else with significant influence, insiders. What this means in practice. This rule ensures that the organization remains a public trust, like what Megan was talking to you guys about in the beginning, how it is a cause, a community endeavor, something that benefits a broad grouping of individuals or land or whatever, right? And not a private business. Permitted good, paying reasonable compensation. So this is what also Megan was talking about. Paying your executive director a salary that is comparable to what a similar nonprofit would pay. Also good, reimbursing necessary expenses, paying an officer back for gas they used on a trip for the charity's mission upon presentation of a receipt. Final good example, purchasing supplies, buying a new computer from a board member's store, but only if the price is fair, at or below market value. Prohibited or bad, excessive compensation, paying a board member an unreasonably high salary or consulting fee compared to market rates. Personal use of, is that you, Miss Megan?
Yeah, your board members shouldn't be paid, period. So there's that.
Okay. No, that's important, right? That's why we double check our information from AI sources, right? They're just trying to make it easy for us to understand, and in doing so, they kind of misspoke, it sounds like, right? Paying a board member an unreasonably high salary or consulting fee compared to market rates. Personal use of
that's also a conflict of interest.
So, but I could have sworn that some board members got paid for some of these bigger boards that
for for-profits, yeah. And for-profit, you can pay board members, or they can get a share of the earnings because they are they have put in money at some point, but no, your board members are supposed to be your biggest contributors, and you're not supposed to pay them. They're supposed to be your fundraisers. That'd be weird if you paid your fundraisers. We're gonna help you raise these funds, and then we're also gonna ask for them back.
Sorry, I had a cough, so I muted myself there, guys. Okay, yeah, that does make sense. Okay, so prohibited, bad. personal use of assets, allowing an officer to use the charity's credit card for personal vacations or home repairs, right? Or like providing them a constant vehicle that they always got to drive around as a personal vehicle, I would think would not be probably a good thing if they weren't constantly on the road for something, right? If they were constantly on the road for something, maybe it has a little more legitimacy. Unfair deals, self-dealing, selling the charity's valuable property to a board member for a fraction of its true value, right?
Right. Yeah, and we go over that when we talk about the real estate grants, because you don't want to, if you want to put it in your name, like personally, in your name or your business's name, and not the nonprofit's name, unless you're willing to make sure that you're going to sell the nonprofit like if it's in the nonprofit's name, then you can only buy it back from the nonprofit if you're paying the full price for it. You don't get a discount. There is no discount. You can't do anything with it like that. So I always tell people, know that going in and do what's best for you. But most of the time it's putting it in your business's name or your name, so that way you can then lease it out to your nonprofit.
That makes sense. So the key concept is reasonableness and fairness. Any transaction or payment to an insider must be for necessary services and must be set at fair market value. If an insider benefits beyond what is reasonable compensation for services rendered, the IRS can deny your 501c3 status or revoke it later. Okay. All right. And so now let's go back to our application. Excuse me. Not further non-exempt purposes, right? So you don't promote somebody's business, as an example, unless they have donated, and that's a part of the donation is that they get a part on a flyer or something, right like that. You don't go, oh, go down to my cousin Larry's business to buy your cars. It's the best place to go. Saying that as the nonprofit, you wouldn't say that. Is that pretty much what I'm reading there, Megan?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can do that, because you can we partner with Truist, right? So everything we do, our HUD classes, everything goes through Truist. We don't promote any other banks. We don't do any of that. So, but then with my own personal organization, I partner with a different bank. So as that group, as a grant writing group, we're partnering with Truist, and then as my own organization, Truist isn't out here, so it's like that wasn't something I could do. So we do that. So there is like a way to promote other people's businesses, but like
but they have to be providing something to the nonprofit, right? Like
no, I mean, yes, they should be providing. I mean, they should be, but no, like I know some that like there's a lot of people that would promote their own business. Like I promote EC Solutions as my credit repair to nonprofit need, like people who are coming into my nonprofit, whether they're coming in for that reason or not, so I'm promoting. So I mean, I'm not sure that's what it means. It more means like you don't want to have any type of earnings. You want to make sure the people, we're not like funneling people through there and then making it so that they can only go there. It's okay to recommend people, but we can't mandate that they go there. Like with the IDA accounts that I'm doing for my guaranteed income program, I can't mandate that they do that. It's suggested that you do that, I think that makes more sense, or no?
A little bit.
Or did I confuse you more?
No.
Okay.
It just gets a little bit silly to some degree, right? So
yeah, no, it does.
Do you think we should ask Gemini for a layman's breakdown of that one as well?
I don't know. We have a hand up, so maybe Darren has let's see how people are receiving this. We can take temperature. Darren, what was your question?
Okay, well, one of the things that I've been listening for a while, and I know about the nonprofits and things like that, because I've tried to do a little bit on my own, but at the same time, I'm trying to start some other things back up, and it would be a for-profit kind of thing because it has to do with real estate. But I am trying to understand what little bit I can to get possibly funding in place for, properties and all that kind of deal. And oh man, I just went blank. Doggone, I had so much. I had a couple of things on my mind that I just went blank. But
it happens to me all the time.
I know. It's kind of like, I know the nonprofit thing, but it's like where did I'm sorry. I just went brain fart. And
so you were talking about having a nonprofit already, but you're going to do some real estate stuff and you need your for-profit to handle that.
Well, no, because I don't have either one going. I did have many moons ago, back when the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac kind of thing fell out, because I had team of realtors, all contractors, everybody and anybody. But now I've got to refind all that stuff again. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, where would I start looking for like the grants, even for, I do have a thing for a nonprofit, but it's mainly going to be for, like, through HUD. And see, the deal is I've been in the construction trade for over 30 years. So I look at things a little bit differently than everybody else. Most of the people won't even go in there and touch it because they can't make $20,000 or $30,000 off of it. Well, I'm not really interested in that. I'm trying to buy properties lower, fix them up and all that, and then also sell the properties to where they're not at top of market value. And in that way, people are able to get a home decent price, because nowadays the prices on homes are just literally skyrocketed. So I'm trying to think of any way and every way that I can to secure the funds and know where to go, who to talk to, that kind of deal, for, I guess, both sides of it, the nonprofit and, of course, and I guess that's what I was going to say. Would I have to go through HUD for the grants and things for the real estate, or could I still?
It depends. Because if you can set it up as a social enterprise, you can then go through HUD, and then you can go through like land banks, land trusts. You can go through all of that. You can do that. Start doing the unified home, like with the programs that they're giving out vouchers for to keep families together and in their own homes. Stuff like that. That's all through HUD. So like, yes and no, you could do it either way, and we could delve into that a little bit more deeply, because that's actually a when we do our real estate section, we'll go over that a little bit more.
Okay.
So in other words, we really want to help you, right? But we have kind of a certain purpose. So we were kind of testing the waters about where we are right now.
Sure.
But definitely, Megan's next class that she kind of could just go in open-ended is going to be this Sunday. And then we're also going to have a part, from my understanding of what you said before, Megan, within this class that does the real estate portion.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, I want to walk everybody through how to set up their whole nonprofit, to having a vehicle, having a place to work out of, and doing all that for yourself, so that your organization is not just out there in the wind.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just, like I say, it's been so long since I've dealt in it, and I guess I'm having to start up from new again. So that's kind of like where
so when you're considering starting a nonprofit, for-profit kind of thing, and you're not exactly sure all of what you're doing, go back and watch the previous classes for this so that you can watch how we set up that nonprofit. And then there's also the for-profit classes and things as well. But let's get back on track for this particular.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. And so anybody else that in line with what we're talking about here with these different items on a nonprofit 1023 easy form or application, any thoughts, questions about that? You can go ahead and just unmute yourselves if you have something.
Oh, no, I'm just, like I said, I'm just listening to everything, trying to soak up.
But we're asking everyone, right, Darren?
Oh, yeah, I got you. Okay.
So I'm going to mute you there, hon. Oh, you've got it. Okay. So any other questions, guys, at all?
No, that was very interesting. I've seen though what he was talking about before, where you have, you're not really marrying two things. Like you have your own nonprofit, but then you have the resources to help the individuals so that you can give them, what they need without involving a for-profit situation.
Yeah, wraparound services.
It's kind of like, wraparound services. Yeah. I've worked with those kinds of things. I was never involved with it. I was involved with a nonprofit before, but I want to do my own. So,
well, welcome.
It's the form that you may be
You're in the right place,
right? Yeah, yep. I'll be filling this out, and I think it's going to be more education than anything else. So, yeah, because I'm teaching coaching, in kind of transpersonal coaching, which is a little different than life coaching. So it's more
all right, guys. So any other questions or thoughts about what this particular form has for us?
No, well, yeah, the format, this form is not what we're going to fill out online. For some reason, the form differs from what they have you fill out online to a certain extent. So just FYI. So I'm sorry.
This that they're previewing for us is not what they're going to have us fill out.
I mean, some of it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Okay, so then let's just move on. Let me just go and do this in the background.
Forms drive me nuts.
And so I'll fill this out in the background.
Okay, and I'm gonna walk you through. I'll start with you from my end. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're gonna do the slides, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, and I just have a few slides ahead of the form to help you guys understand nonprofit, for-profit difference. A nonprofit allows you to do two critical things that cannot be done by a for-profit. A nonprofit does not pay income tax on its earnings. And once you have a 501c3 certification, people who donate money to your organization may be eligible for tax donations or tax deductions. Hey, tax donations. Additionally, you may be eligible for other funding opportunities from government entities and other nonprofits. So there's pass-through grants and other types of funding available to you. And that's what makes you that's what makes it available to you, is because you're a nonprofit status, right? So, and then we talk about legal structure. Do you want me to go through all this? The legal structures?
Are you asking me? I can't see what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's just going over the legal structures and tax status. So I'm just going to go through this really quickly. If anybody has questions, let's try and save them for the end, and that way we can go back if we need to. Most often, nonprofit organizations are organized as a corporation in the state where they operate. Technically, you can have a nonprofit operate as an association, what this means is to you is that to start your nonprofit, you need to form a corporate entity in the state, which we've done. Apply for a tax identification number and EIN, which we've done. Apply for tax exempt status with the Internal Revenue Service, which is what we're doing now. And then file any additional documents with the state in which you will primarily operate. So Secretary of State, Registry of Charitable Trusts, that was hard to say, and tax exempt status. And then file your annual 990N and relevant state filings. So your statements of information and all of that stuff at the end of the year. Board of directors is going to be, technically, some states permit you to have a chief, a cook, and a bottle washer, pretty much, that you can like, so you can have like you have a chair, board, with a secretary and a treasurer, and you can call it a day. And you can operate without a board kind of to a limit. They do put little stipulations in there, but most states in the United States are going to have 3 board members or more, and they have to not be working at the nonprofit. They at startup, if that makes sense. Other than yourself can be, you can count yourself as like executive director, president, and then your treasurer should not be working at your nonprofit when you make them treasurer, when you vote them in. Bringing your board members on. Okay, wait, pause. I'm sorry, Sabrina, that call came in.
Oh, okay. So let me get back to where we all are here, guys. Okay, so Megan has a call that she has to take. So I'm looking over the 1023 EZ worksheet that you have to fill out before you can fill out the 1023 EZ to see if you qualify. So if you answer yes to any of these questions here, then you can't fill it out. The easy one, you have to fill out the full 1023, not the 1023 easy. All right, so do you project that your annual gross receipts will exceed $50,000 in any of the next 3 years? No. Have your annual gross receipts exceeded $50,000 any of the past 3 years? No. Do you have total assets, the fair market value of which is in excess of $250,000? No. Were you formed under the laws of a foreign country? U.S. territories are not considered foreign countries. No. Is your mailing address in a foreign country? Again, U.S. territories are not considered foreign countries. No. Are you a successor to or controlled by an entity suspended under Section 501P, suspension of tax exempt status of terrorist organizations? No. Are you organized as an entity other than a corporation, unincorporated association, or trust? We have articles of incorporation, so that would be corporation, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, we're gonna have to kind of wait for Megan on this one, guys. So let me do this. What I'm gonna do is I am going to take all of these documents that I am viewing, right? So we're here. This is the streamlined application for recognition of exemption under section 501c3. Public forum, right? And I'll go into another tab of Lesko Help too. Oh, hold on. Okay. I have to talk to Tony really quickly, you guys. I'm so sorry. I don't have to mute myself, but I have to know if he means about tonight's class. Hey, Tony, comma, I don't have time to quite intake all of that right now, comma, I'm in a class, comma, but I did want to know if you meant for this evening's class, question mark, or are you good to go for your normal time for today, question mark. Okay, thanks, guys. All right, so we're going to get out of here and we're going to go into the Join Us Live collection where this class is hosted out of. You see the little live icon into teaching sessions. And then in the announcements tab here, we're in the upcoming that shows all of the different events. We're going to step over into the announcements tab and I'm going to post these links for everyone. All right, so this is the 1023 EZ form for filing for exempt, tax exempt status, right? Tony, comma, okay, there we go. Thank you. That's what I needed to know, period. Okay, so now this is the form for that. And I'm not going to notify everybody. It's in here. If you guys want me to tag you in the post, I can definitely do that. All right. Now we're going to go to because this is where the form is. Then I jumped into this Adobe document that includes this list. It's about a little bit more than halfway through it, right? You have this eligibility worksheet because they want you to read through all of this information, which we certainly do not have time to do here in class, right? So I'm going to share this, copy that, and put it into our post in the comments. This is the eligibility worksheet, all right, for the 1023 EV form. Filing for tax exempt.
Okay, I'm back.
Status. Okay, very good. There you are.
This is stressful. Hi. Okay. All right. So where did you get to? You got to.
You were on your slides. I was just showing what I was doing in the background about the eligibility worksheet that you have to do in order to file for the 501c3, right?
Okay. Yep. All right. So
but we are winding down. Like we really have 12 minutes left of class and
that's literally how long it will take.
Okay,
that's
perfect.
How easy this
Okay, I'll be quiet then. Okay.
All right, so this is the sections. I'm just going to skip that part because we know the sections we're about to go through. So the one thing you do need though is you're going to need your NTE code, which describes this type of nonprofit entity you're forming. So,
Is that
see if
something
you
that I
want,
need to do like right now?
yeah, you'll need
Okay.
to look that up to see what you want to use for that.
Okay, so then let
And like
me share my screen with you. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can figure it out. Okay, so
this is, I can do,
I don't know what it did.
oh,
What did it do? It blocked you, right? It bumped you?
no, I just clicked the button in my slides.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know how to transfer that to you so that you can look up your stuff.
Well, I was just going to look up that code. Can you tell me the name?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, NTEE. Like Nathan Tango Enterprise.
Yeah, we're good. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
IRS activity codes. Okay, so now what do I do next? Search?
Now you're just going to go here. We'll do it together. Okay, so you're going to go to, you want to just start looking up the descriptions or looking up the, like, whatever you want to, where you want to start, right? You want to start with, like, I would say, I feel like it's not science-y, but it's educational,
It's educational. Yeah.
So not special education either. Higher education.
No, because it's not certification, right? It's no.
Okay. Educational services.
Like where
Nope.
do you see that one? What is the number of that one?
It says it's B90, but it says organizations that provide educational programs within the formal education system. That's not what you're doing.
Okay, let me
Environment.
go back. Yeah. Where's that?
Okay,
What
so that's
number?
one of them. C, the very first one, C.
The first one of C?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see.
So that's private nonprofit organizations whose primary purpose is to preserve, protect, and improve the environment.
What about education within that? Is there anything educational? I'm just looking through it. Environmental education. Organizations such as nature centers that provide informal classes which acquaint participants with particular aspects of their environment and increase their understanding of and appreciation for ecological balance.
Yep.
Does that sound
I
good?
feel like that one might be. Yep. So C60.
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. All right, let's go back.
So I'm going to screenshot that really quickly. Here, I can stop my share though so you guys can go back to what you're doing. Okay.
Okay.
Huh?
All right. So we got all that done, and then you had then you're paying the $275 today, and then we're done. All right. Ongoing compliance. This talks about what you're going to need to do at the end of the year. We can go back over that later. And here's the instruction. Okay, so this is what your website should look like. You are going to navigate and click on the the application for recognition under 501c3. You want to do the easy. So there's the 1023, and then and then there's the one below it, which is the 1023 easy payment form. Like this is the one you want to do. So make sure you're doing the easy. And this is what she already showed us, right? So you're going to hit continue to form. All right, you're just entering your demographic information on this one where the eligibility requirements are. Your name, your address, organization's full name, its leadership. You're also indicating that you are eligible for the streamlined application. So by that, it means that you, this is do you have a total assets in the fair market value of which is in excess of $250,000? If yes, stop. Do not file the easy form. So you do not, right?
No, I looked through. I didn't understand a couple of the questions, but that one I do not. Yes, correct.
Okay. Yeah. So the $50,000 is you're not planning to exceed it, and your gross receipts haven't exceeded it in the last 3 years because you haven't been in business for the last 3 years.
Yes.
So so that's a definite no, and that's perfect. And then no for the next one, and then you're just gonna do that is your eligibility to do easy. So make sure we're doing easy, people. The other one will take at least 6 months for you to get your 501c3 back to you, whereas this one takes 3 to 6 weeks.
Big difference. Yeah.
Yeah. So so this is a continued eligibility requirements, and then you have most people. So I did this one for California because I was doing, but most people will click that you're a corporation, indicate the date that you filed your corporate documents with the state. Which state have you filed those corporate documents in, and then you should be able to check the rest of the boxes on the screen to proceed. Right, like you are going to test that the documents are true and correct.
Yes. I think.
Okay.
I'm doing other things. I have to get ready for Michelle's class. So I wasn't.
Oh, you're not doing yours?
No, what do you mean mine? This is
Oh, I
ours?
thought you were gonna do it. I thought you were gonna do it on your side. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine. I got it.
Oh, no,
All
I
right,
was, but then we kind of had moved on and you were doing your screens and I didn't know exactly what we were doing. And I was looking at the thing
It's fine.
but I'm not ready to pay $275 today though either. So I have to,
Okay, that's
I have to
fine.
think about that for just 2 seconds. Like it can happen right now, but I got to think about it before I
Okay,
spend.
that's fine. Okay, so this is the specific activities, and then literally you need to put in one sentence. So I was doing this for screen printing for Breaking Free Industries, and this is where you put their NTE code and what your purpose is. So this was very simple. You don't need to have it's only a limit of 250 characters, not even words. So it shouldn't be long. You shouldn't be stressing on that. It's very simple. The next one is foundation classification. You already put your NTE code, and then you have select this box if that attests that you normally receive at least 1/3 of your support from public sources, or you normally receive at least 10% of your support from public sources, or you have other characteristics of a publicly supported organization. That is going to be the majority of nonprofits, unless you are privately funded. So there's that. And then if you are benefiting a college, or if you are a grant, it says select this box to attest that you normally receive more than 1/3 of your support from a combination of gifts, grants, contributions, membership fees, and gross receipts from permitted sources, from activities related to your exempt functions, and from normally receive not more than 1/3 of your support from investment income, unrelated business taxable income, and then section 509A2. That is not what most nonprofits will do. If you are doing it, if you're going to check that box, you'll know if you're supposed to check that box. I feel like, because you'll know that
it
you're
can
collecting.
change, right? Because we are,
Yeah.
okay.
You can. So but most people just don't. So that's most people will check this first box.
No, what I'm saying is at a different point in the foundation's lifetime, that could you can change that answer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It can.
Okay.
So if you're not described in items 2A through 2C above, then you're gonna check the private foundation organizing documents and stuff like that. But most, like I said, the most will be the 2A. And the reinstatement and payment. The next screen is your payment screen. That's literally how fast it is. And you're done. So the next screen is if you're seeking to renew your nonprofit, or if you've been in non-compliance, then you shouldn't be. That screen afterwards is where you make your payment and ultimately submit.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I definitely want to read through the documents before I'm doing any of it too. I'm a reader. I can't just like click and go.
No, that's good. That's really thorough. That's really thorough. I mean, yes, do that. Whatever makes you happy and feel secure about doing that decision.
All right, then I'm going to steal your share. Okay.
Okay, go for it. I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay. And so guys, I hope that was helpful. I'm thinking that maybe we should do this again next week after I've had time to read it, and then we can walk through it again. Okay, very good. So that's our plan for next week, ladies and gentlemen. And for the next upcoming class, you have Miss Tammy substituting for Michelle for Friday's Coffee and Grants. And that is going to be today, right after this class. It's in 33 minutes, everyone, at 4:00 p.m. Pacific, 5:00 p.m. Mountain, 6:00 p.m. Central, and 7:00 p.m. Eastern. Miss Megan will be back with you more quickly than will I. And did you want to read that off, Megan, or do you want me to do the hours?
Oh, please do the hours, so I get confused every single time I do it. So I'm still confused on it.
So she will be back with you for Sunday's Lesko Help Presents Navigating the Nation's Grants with Megan P. And that is, excuse me, at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 Mountain, 8:30 Central, and 9:30 Eastern. And I will be back with you all on not on Monday. I apologize. That is now Miss Tammy. I will be back with you on Tuesday that's September 30th at 3:00 p.m. Pacific, 4:00 p.m. Mountain, 5 Central, and 6 Eastern. And that is an open-ended Q&A with Sabrina. All right, everyone. I hope you all have fabulous weekends, and I hope to see you in those upcoming classes and all the wonderful ones in between. Please feel free to unmute and say good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Night,
Bye.
guys.
Thanks.
Actually,
coming.
Sabrina, don't I have a class right before that one too? The nonprofit
Oh,
class?
whoops. I forgot to read your nonprofit one. She's correct, guys. So she has 2 on Sunday.
Just checking.
And
I was like, did it get cut?
Oh, I'm
her
gonna go
first
for
one
that
is
one.
the call for the nonprofits. And that actually is this
Am I
Sunday. Yeah.
signed up?
At and you can RSVP in our calendar for any of those that you're interested in, folks. And so that is going to be at 5:15 p.m. Pacific, 6:15 Mountain, 7:15 Central, and 8:15 Eastern. And actually, for next week's class, where we will be back together, same time, same place, Friday, October 3rd, 2:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 Mountain, 4:30 Central, and 5:30 Eastern. All right, that's a little bit better. Please feel free to unmute everyone and say goodnight.
All right, bye, you guys. Thank you, Sabrina.
Thank
We
you,
had fun.
Megan. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Carol, bye.
Bye, guys.